Have you ever wondered why people act the way they do? Why some are kind and others cruel, some generous and others selfish? It's a fascinating subject, isn't it? Imagine having a guide to navigate these complexities. That's where Robert Greene comes in. With his book, The Laws of Human Nature, he delves into the heart of what makes us tick. He's an expert in decoding human behavior, and his insights are mind-blowing. Welcome to the journey into the depths of human nature with Robert Greene's The Laws of Human Nature. We begin with the first law, the law of irrationality. At the heart of human nature lies a paradox. We pride ourselves on being rational creatures, capable of logical thought and reason. Yet often our decision-making process is influenced by emotions, biases, and subconscious factors that lead us to act in ways that are, quite frankly, irrational. This is the law of irrationality. It suggests that despite our best efforts, we're not always as logical as we'd like to believe. We're swayed by feelings, misled by misconceptions, and blinded by our own biases. We might choose a path that feels right, but isn't necessarily the most logical or beneficial one. And it's not just about individual decisions. This irrationality permeates society, affecting politics, economics, and even global conflicts. It's a fundamental part of our nature, a subtle reminder of our imperfect human selves. So, the next time you make a decision, remember it might not be as rational as you think. Next up is the law of narcissism. This law is a fascinating exploration into the human ego. Narcissism is defined as excessive self-love or self-centeredness, and it is a trait that can greatly influence our behavior. We are all narcissists to some degree. It's how we survive, how we carve out our place in the world. But there's a fine line to tread. Too much narcissism and we risk alienating those around us. We become blind to our own faults and resistant to criticism. Yet, a certain level of narcissism can be advantageous. It can fuel our ambition, drive our success, and bolster our resilience. It can make us unafraid to stand out, to take risks, and to chase our dreams. Understanding this law is about recognizing the balance, nurturing our narcissism to empower ourselves, but checking it to ensure we remain empathetic and grounded. So it seems we all have a bit of Narcissus in us, don't we? Let's explore the law of role-playing. This principle is a fascinating part of our daily lives, often going unnoticed. It's all about how we, as individuals, play different roles depending on our environment and the people around us. It's like being an actor in a grand play, but the script is life itself. Consider this. The way you behave at work might be different from how you act at a family gathering. These are roles you enact, almost instinctively, shaped by societal norms and expectations. The roles we play can significantly affect our perceptions. They can influence how we see ourselves and others, molding our interactions. For instance, if you see yourself in a leadership role, you might interpret others' actions as either supportive or challenging to your authority. Understanding this law allows us to see beyond the roles people play. It lets us perceive their true nature, unclouded by the masks they wear. Remember, everyone is playing a role, including you. Now, onto the law of compulsive behavior. This law is all about the irresistible urges that drive our actions. These compulsions are deeply rooted within us, often emerging from our subconscious mind. They can be as simple as a habitual craving for a specific food, or as complex as an emotional response to certain situations. While these compulsions can be beneficial, leading us towards healthy routines and productive habits, they can also be detrimental. They may drive us towards self-destructive behaviors or unhealthy obsessions. Recognizing these compulsions is the first step towards understanding, managing, and potentially overcoming them. The law of compulsive behavior teaches us that we are not solely rational beings. Our actions are frequently dictated by deep-seated urges and instincts. Learning to identify and navigate these compulsions can lead to a deeper understanding of our own nature and the nature of those around us. So what's your compulsion? Let's delve into the law of covetousness. This law explores the human tendency to yearn for what others have. It's an innate characteristic, deeply entwined with our survival instincts. We see someone else's success, their possessions, their happiness, and we want it for ourselves. This happens because, as humans, we are hardwired to seek comfort, security, and pleasure. Now, covetousness, while a basic instinct, can have profound effects on our relationships and societies. It can lead to resentment, rivalry, and even conflict. On a societal level, it can drive economic disparities and social tensions. But here's the catch. Coveting what others have often leads us to overlook what we already possess. We become so focused on the chase, so consumed by the desire to have more, that we forget to appreciate the value of our own achievements and possessions. So, the grass isn't always greener on the other side, is it? Next, we tackle the law of short-sightedness. Here's a law that plays a significant role in our lives, often subconsciously. It refers to our human propensity to focus on immediate concerns or benefits, sometimes at the cost of long-term success or well-being. This short-sightedness can stem from several causes, such as our innate desire for instant gratification or our inability to accurately predict future outcomes. This law significantly influences our decision-making process and future planning. For instance, we might choose to binge-watch a series instead of studying for an upcoming exam, or we might overspend today without considering the impact on our future financial stability. These choices, driven by short-sightedness, can lead to unfavorable consequences in the long run. Understanding and acknowledging this law can help us make more balanced decisions, taking into account not just the present, but also the future implications of our actions. So, let's strive to broaden our perspectives and think long-term. Remember, the future is closer than it appears. Finally, let's wrap up our journey through the laws of human nature. It's been a fascinating exploration, to say the least, and we have delved into the very heart of what makes us tick as human beings. Starting with the law of irrationality, we've uncovered how our decisions are often swayed by emotions rather than logic. We've seen that acknowledging this inherent irrationality can help us make more balanced, thoughtful decisions. Next, the law of narcissism. This law exposes our innate self-absorption and how it can blind us to the realities of others. By recognizing this, we can strive to see beyond our own perspectives and truly empathize with others. The law of role-playing highlighted our tendency to wear different masks in different situations. Understanding this law helps us to be genuine and consistent across all our interactions, avoiding the strain of constantly shifting roles. Then we discussed the law of compulsive behavior, which reminds us of our potential for repetitive, often harmful behaviors. By acknowledging this, we can work towards breaking free from harmful patterns and creating healthier habits. The law of covetousness showed us how we can be driven by desire and greed, often to the detriment of our relationships and personal growth. Recognizing this law encourages us to cultivate gratitude and contentment. And last but not least, the law of short-sightedness, which highlights our tendency to focus on immediate gratification rather than long-term benefit. Understanding this law can guide us towards making decisions that will serve us well in the long run. These laws are not meant to bind us, but to enlighten us. They provide us with a roadmap to navigate our complex human nature, allowing us to better understand ourselves and those around us. By embracing these laws, we can foster deeper connections, make more informed decisions, and ultimately lead more fulfilling lives. And that's your brief tour of the laws of human nature. Remember, understanding is the first step towards change. Until next time, keep exploring the depths of human nature.